Howdy everyone. Thank you for joining us in our RIVERTREE Academy project today. As we all have heard many times, the Como neighborhood is underprivileged and underserved, has high poverty levels and low education levels, and many of the students succumb to the negative influences around them. So we believe that RIVERTREE Academy will be a safe haven for those students to get out of those negative externalities. The way that we will do this through RIVERTREE is by refining their character through natural processes such as embracing God and embracing nature.
So up here you see our overall site plan, just looking at it from a grand scale. So this is the zoomed in part of the site in which we've developed. Highlighted here on the right is the entrance to the site, indicated by the yellow arrow, and then what's highlighted is the school facility. So this is a facility that you see as you enter the site. We believe it's the most important facility because it's the driving force behind RIVERTREE Academy. And so you'll see the school is in two parts. One includes administration, the classrooms, counseling, library, and cafeteria, which would be built in phase one, which you see on the bottom. And then the top facility is a more recreational, contains a gymnasium and locker rooms. And that would be the facility that would be expanded in terms of future development on the school. So here you just see a couple interior renderings of the library below, and then from the library out to the main hall. So what's highlighted up here now would be the barn on site. It is a little bit pulled away from other facilities to indicate a sense of privacy, because the space within the barn is to be used as a venue. It can be used as a wedding venue, a dining facility, so it's a very multi-purpose space. You can see here this interior rendering of the large open space, in which the barn doors in the back can open up and you can optimize on a beautiful landscape that our site provides. So what's highlighted now is the student cottages. Their arrangement is in terms of creating a community within all facilities. So this would be where all students would live. There are two options. One provides smaller rooms for a smaller number of students, indicated probably more for your older students. And then this is a larger facility that would be for more students to live in. And then what's highlighted here is the staff housing. It's a little bit more private in the back of the site. This is an interior view of the kitchen and the living room, and this is what it would be like. So any kind of administration that would be willing to bring their family on site would live here in sort of a subdivision neighborhood style in the back. So this diagram shows the smallest circle would be what's indicated as the plaza space, where we indicate most interaction between students coming from cottages to go into the school are going to interact there. And then as you fade out and progress through the site, you get more and more private.
Coming to the construction, we chose a project delivery method called design build bridging. We5 as an entity formed a bridging contracting company. Our architect and the owner will draft the 35% of the drawings and then hand over it to us. So we've developed a schedule for around 9 years, which having in each phase of around 24 months. We have a non-constructive phase between each phase, so that will help the organization to raise funds for the next phase. So if you can see, and above that we did not provide any staff housing in the first phase, and we provided like 7 housing units in the first phase only, so that the staff housing can stay in the student housing units itself. Coming to the cost, our entire construction cost is going up to 13.9 million. We individually, each phase, our first phase is around 7.5 million. We concentrated more on the educational facilities in the first phase and some of the student housing facilities. And eventually we've developed the housing and the other activities which are more relevant for the education institution. So totally it is coming up to 13.9 million.
So as you can see, this is the location of our site, Dallas Fort Worth, and this is the first phase of the site where what we've done is so for the first phase of the site, what we've done is we've retained the existing roads for the construction phase. And we have marked in the red are the site logistics and the construction trailers and material storage. So in the first phase we mainly have our school block, and we have the existing plantation house will be used as a recreational area. Also we plan to build only the first floor of the school, and this is just a shell of the second floor. The rest of the school will be made in the second phase. Red barn, this is the red barn which has a private access, and the student housing units we plan to make 7 of them, out of which 2 will be used by the staff for the first phase.
And one of the challenge in our second phase is that we have to build the facility without disrupting the existing function of the school. So we have used the periphery road above, where you can see the construction site access would be happening, and the highlighted areas are the site mobilization, like including trailers, material drop-off and all. So in the second phase, the recreation part, the recreation block of the school will be coming up, which is segregated together to minimize the disruption of the school functioning. And there will be 5 units of housing coming in the second phase. And you can see the fencing was given not to disrupt the school functions. And in the last phase, like the remaining housing, the substantial amount of housing and even the major amount of staff housing would be coming up, including the farm development and even the landscaping and site development part. So in the video you can see the student housing and the staff housing. So this is how we have planned our phasing in like 4 phases comprising of 9 years.
So financially, to deliver this asset, it will entail $28 million in budgeting. For activation, we're going to take a grassroots marketing approach in which we market this outdoor field for the facility. We're going to have summer camps that we can have students come and do hikes and excursions down the creek, donor banquets, as well as trail rides. And those trail rides in particular link the students back to the neighborhood they came from, because on the bus ride through Como we learned that horses played a big part in the history of Como. Facilities management will be over $700,000 each year. Socioculturally, we've taken great detail in putting the streets on the exterior parts of the complex, and we phase outward so that students will be minimized their amount of exposure to hazardous things. Economically, we plan on having different events within the actual complex, and like I said, those trail rides should be a big hit with the Como neighborhood. And basically we need to capitalize on the natural environment that the land holds. Environmentally we spoke on. The sensory aspect, we have a very great sense of drive-up appeal. As you come into the actual site, you see the school on your right and the barn on your left, and they frame the residences behind them. So that is a selling point for the school. Land-wise, we know the constraints of floodplain and easements within the site, but there's the northern portion of the boundary that might create some hazard with the annexation and zoning of the actual project. These are some of the key people we'll need for the labor to deliver the project, and particular importance needs to be focused on child labor regulations to see if we can even have students working on this farm. Lastly, like I said, $28 million to deliver. Including taxes and marketing, the asset operating budget is over $1 million. And these are some numbers to kind of put a perspective on it. We were given director's budget that said they were going to operate on $8 million a year. And so at these interest rates for CDs, they would need about $200 to $400 million in order to have that endowment continue to fund their yearly costs. And with that being said, that is the end of our presentation. Thank you guys for listening.